Awesome. If this is your first time in morning school, can you indicate? Type first time. All right, we have a first timer. Good, good, good. You will definitely have a great time. You will have a great time. If you're joining in on any of the online platforms, apart from Zoom, you're welcome as we get into this. It has been great. All right, let us do our normal check-ins. If after yesterday's session, you know the routine, you know our drill. If after yesterday's session, you started taking actions, type action. If you made some new decisions based on what we taught yesterday, can you type decision? Go ahead. Go ahead and do that in the chat box. All right. If you made decision and action, type the two. Type decision plus action. If you made some strong decisions plus action, type decision plus action. If you are just action, of course, you cannot make an action without a decision. All right. All right. I'm happy to see that, right? I'm happy to see that. That is so, so good. So, so good. So, so good. So, so good. You will have more action to balance to that.
Recording in progress.
And like I always say, and like I said yesterday, you see, proof of new knowledge is that when new knowledge comes into your ecosystem, there should be a shift. Like I said yesterday, if you read a book, if you go through a course, if you attend a seminar, a conference, whatever, but if it was a gathering or a come together where, or just you alone, but the purpose of that action that you took was to receive new knowledge. If that new knowledge came into your ecosystem and you did not take some action, or new knowledge did not shift your routine or improve the quality of input that can change your outcomes, you did not learn. You are just entertained, right? Because I always say that proof of learning is that it changes something either in your habits, in your routine, in your lifestyle, in the things, in the input that can change your output. Okay. And that's why I always say that if we gather here like this during our morning school, and after you wake up at 4 a.m., especially for people who are in the GMT+1 time zone, and you don't live with something that creates a shift. And I always like to say that new knowledge should also reduce your suffering. What does that mean? If let's say you're struggling, let's say financially, you're struggling to get a job or your business is struggling, that is suffering at that level. And one thing that new knowledge should do to you, new relevant knowledge should do to you is that it should reduce that suffering, because knowledge, like in the Bible, they call knowledge light, right? And where light comes in, it dispels darkness. And when darkness is pushed away, it definitely always, reduces your struggles, your sufferings, your difficulties, and your challenges. All right. So if you have been a participant in this morning school in the last 4 days, this is day 4 of us coming here together. Please make sure that you are truly learning. Okay. And I always like to tell people that, look, life is too short to be entertained. Very, very short. Very short. Like when I look at my life plan, I look at things I want to do by September 2055. September is my birth month. That's why I'm calling September. September 2060. I'm like, guy, you're already old. Right? So, and if you're a long-term planner with a vision person, you see that, look, life is too short for you to live, to focus on entertainment or do things when you don't have the right intentions, you don't have the right objectives, and you don't make up your mind that, look, if I am part of this initiative, There should be something I am taking out of it that will advance my destiny as far as life is concerned. Okay. And like I said, for those who are new or following this for the first time on any social media platform, what we're handling in this month of June as part of our morning school is like part two of what we handled in the month of May. In the month of May, we spent time to focus on how to identify what you can call your profitable skill or your profitable value, and how you can extract it, package it into offers, into value that if you communicate it, people can understand. And in this month of June, we have been focusing on what I call mass distribution or mass commercialization. Because I always say that if you have good value and you don't know how to mass distribute it, how to mass commercialize it, you can be very skilled, very talented, and yet you're broke, and yet you're not creating the kind of impact and influence that you desire to create. So, day one, day two, day three, and today, day four, everything has been focused on sharing foundational strategies that can help you to begin to mass commercialize or mass distribute what you call your value. Okay. And if you're here for the first time, you can go on my YouTube channel, just search Dr. Jaffney Joybert, and you will see, go to under playlist, you will see live morning school. You will go there, you see all the previous recordings of our morning schools, and you can begin to watch every episode because it's going to help you, especially if you're watching this right now and you're struggling in terms of, I don't know what is my profitable skill. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, wherever, you can see a link to my online store. You can find a template there to download a free profitable skill discovery tool that I created. I have had hundreds of feedback from that tool where people are like, I didn't know I have so much value to sell, right? It's a profitable skill discovery tool. So you can find that and download for free. So today, we are going to focus on something very, very interesting. And we are looking at how to create content on social media in a way that builds a strong brand that you can monetize or that you can make money from. And why am I focusing a lot on social media, especially in the last 4 days? Because, like I explained, if you go back 100 years ago, there was a time in the civilization of economists that if you were on print media, you will make money. And after that's newspapers and things like that. After that, audio came, and especially radios. If you were on radio, you were making sense. After that, TV came. So video came in and added audio to it. And there was a shift in civilization and the mass distribution of value and commercialization. And after TV, we now have, social media, and social media is more robust, and it will keep on advancing at this pace for the next 100 years, and we'll keep having new levels of social media that we have never really imagined, right? So if you are going to be somebody who can mass distribute and mass commercialize your value, you have to know how to leverage social media where it is before it gets more advanced, because social media definitely is getting more advanced consistently, right? Every single day, there's a new innovation that is shifting social media in such a profound way. And in this generation, I was teaching somewhere and I said, there are a few things that if you know how to do in this dispensation, it can change your life forever. And I shared a few things and I said, one of them is if you know how to balance content creation and social media platforms, and you already have the right value, it can change your destiny forever. And I started talking about this like since 2013 or 14. And I am happy that I could see some feedback of the impact of this in my personal career as a person, right? So how do you create content? And how do you, but I'm not focusing on content creation. I'm going to focus a lot on how do you show up with the content on different social media platforms, right? And I'm not teaching this from excitement. I took like, I think it was late last year, and I started researching every person that I know on social media, especially big names that in industry. I did not study comedians or entertainment guys. No, I studied professionals and entrepreneurs who are moving, you know, influencing people, leveraging that influence and attention to build strong brand, and they're able to transfer that strong brand to monetize either their businesses or their careers. And I started documenting practical strategies that I see them doing, and I've tried them for myself many, many times, and I've seen incredible results in what I'm doing. So what I'm going to share with you is something that I have done. If they are small, I have analyzed at least 500 different social media handles, from LinkedIn to Facebook to Instagram to TikTok and so on. Right? So this is something that if you understand, trust me, it will shift something on how you show up on social media. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Look, if you're listening to this in 2025 and beyond, and you are still treating how you show up on social media as a hobby or like an entertainment, or like a relaxation tool, how do I put this? You are, I'm finding a better, I'm looking for a better way to describe this, because it's like you have something that is critical for your destiny, but yet you are not using it to advance your destiny. You see, because if you have been in the community peak performance academy, if you're watching this for the first time, this is a program I host every once a month with members of my community. Sometimes we decide to stream on public platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube, right? But if you have been a member of peak performance academy for the last 4 or 5 years or even 6 years, you will notice that there was a time I started teaching you guys on how to build attention, manage attention, and monetize attention. I even ended up writing a book on this. The book is on Amazon for those who are in Europe, Middle East, North America. You can order and get it. How to build attention, manage attention, and monetize attention. And I started teaching this across my communities like 6, 7 years ago, because part of my work I do is that I am part of a research team and experts that we analyze the future of work, where the economy is going, what may happen, what may not happen, and things like that. Sometimes there are things that we can assume and guesswork and agree upon that will start happening. And more than 90% of the time, we are always kind of right, right? So why am I driving this? Because one time I said that, I think it was around 2020. And as a result of COVID-19, I said something. I said, in 2020 and beyond, if you are not searchable, you are invisible, right? In 2020 and beyond, if you are not searchable, you are invisible. Why? Because we have come, like I said on day two, I think, I said, many people have not realized that the kind of economy that we are in globally is what you can call perception economy or attention economy. Another funny name I use is the scrolling economy. Everybody's scrolling, online, right? But we are in a perception economy or attention driven economy, right? And that's why you can see people who have, let's say, for example, if you follow global business and you know this guy known as Mr. Beast, right? I think he's a billionaire now because of, and one thing that made him a billionaire is because of the content he created on YouTube, and now he has millions and millions of followers. That that watch him and so on. And that attention he was able to build over time, he now launched his companies around that attention, and he became a billionaire because of the attention he developed through social media platforms, right? So, as a community of professionals and entrepreneurs, it is you are not dealing with this as a nice to have. No, it's a must have. It's a must have, right? So I said in 2020 and beyond, if you are not searchable, you are invisible. And what happens when you are invisible? When you are invisible, you lose opportunities, you lose clients, you lose platforms, right? Because if you are in any industry right now or you run a business, you understand that one of those critical things that can give you good clients is credibility, right? Credibility is an asset. I did my, you know, undergraduate, graduate, and BSc in accounting, and there are some companies who are treating that would treat goodwill as an asset, kind of, right? And we are in a generation where credibility is an asset. You see, and your strong digital footprint now is your credibility certificate. And institutions like embassies are now validating that this point that your digital footprints have become your credibility certificate. Why? Because there are some embassies now, especially want to travel out of Africa and out of some parts of Asia. You go to apply for visa, they will check your online footprint. It will contribute as part of what they will use to decide if they should give you a visa to their country. So what is that? That is your online footprint being used as a credibility, certificate, right? And there are many employers, but also have some experience with LinkedIn, you will know that there are many, employers and recruiters that how you show up online is basically your primary resume right now. In other words, your new resume as a professional across and especially certain key industries is how your brand shows up online. Like I was invited to speak to a community of salespeople and marketing professionals, and I told them, look, you cannot be in an industry like marketing, sales, branding, personal, relationship kind of industry, event organization, in business development, customer service, any industry, any professional in that kind of industry, and if you don't yet agree with yourself that your new resume is how your brand shows up online, something is wrong with you, right? And like I said, we are now in a scrolling economy. Everybody's basically scrolling at some point during the day on different social media platforms. That's where we are now. And being an active player, right? Being an active player is critical for your success. That's why in this day four, I'm I want to handle this topic on how to post on social media in a way that builds a strong personal brand that you can monetize. Because last month we handled, extracting your value, but you can have that value and you don't show up the right way that you can be able to build a strong brand that you can monetize it. You see, and it is possible to be consistent or to post on social media for 10 years and still have no brand. Very possible. And no brand means no clients, no opportunities, no income, and so on. And don't confuse between, like somebody said, but you see, I've been posting, but I have followers. Okay, but how many of those followers can you monetize? How many of those followers can you really convert into paying customers? Do not begin to confuse, the difference between popularity and a brand. You can be popular and not have a brand. You can have 10,000 followers and not have a brand. Because one side of a brand is, so see, somebody can have 1,000 followers, and if they post a product to sell that one product for $200 or $100 or $50, or depending on your local currency, they will have maybe 100 people that will buy. But somebody can have 10,000 people who follow them because they are popular in a sense based on what they do or what they say that sometimes is maybe memes or nonsense or something that doesn't really communicate influence as far as an industry is concerned. The day they post something to sell, that's the day they'll carry the shock of their life. The same post that I'm sure some of you have experienced this. Maybe you used to create things and share and have a good number of likes and comments and all of that. The day you wanted to sell something, that same post did not have up to 10 likes. Anybody experience that here? Right? That's a message for you. That was kind of feedback for you that, hey, maybe I am just popular among these folks and I don't have a brand that can influence them to buy the value that I have to give. Okay. And that's why if you know how to show up in the way I will talk about, it is going to help you in a way that you will begin to see the real way to do it the right way. And of course, see the impact that you desire. Okay. So posting alone is not strategy. You need to go a step further and begin to look at how do I begin to show up through the things that I post in a way that communicates that clarity and that strategy that I can begin to monetize when the right time, of course, comes. Because one thing about not being able to post the right way is that when you are not posting, you are indirectly programming the public perception about yourself. Like I said, we are now in the attention of perception economy, right? So the more people can perceive you the right way through the value that you bring or you contribute, the more you enhance your ability to be able to get the right opportunities, the right clients, and what have you. So if you are not posting the right way, in the way I'm going to show you, you are indirectly or directly programming the public perception about you. Same as when you are doing it the right way, you program the perception of the public following you that this is the person to pay as far as this kind of expertise is concerned. You see, so like I said, I think it was one of these days, I said, as a professional using social media, as an expert in any industry using social media, as an entrepreneur using social media, you need to always have the consciousness that every post that you make is either clarifying and advancing your marketplace identity or literally confusing the people following you. You see, now let me go to people who are in social enterprise, talking about NGO people, advocates, and people like that. You know, I know somebody that, like, I was just thinking about this yesterday. Somebody I know so well. I'm like, you used to talk about women empowerment. Now I see you under climate change. And I remember correctly that there was a time you were very, very serious about, local development and politics. So in less than like 5 years or 3 years, you don't have any marketplace identity. No, you don't advance like that as a professional using social media as a platform to get the right people to work with. You see, for example, there was a CEO who hired me to go train their staff in, which country was that? Was it Kenya? Kenya, yes, Kenya. And this guy had followed me for 5 years. And he counted how he has followed me. And so somebody even reached out to me today. I could show you that message today and said, I have followed you for about 5 years today. I want to buy every book you have published. I don't care how much your mentorship costs. I want to pay for it. And trust me, there's a mentorship program that I charge very well for it. Right? But he said that, like, he bought all the books, every book I've ever written, both e-books and hard copies, and then I don't care how much your mentorship costs, I want to pay for it. I want to go to the next level in this area, and I need you. I have followed for 5 years. This is why I am reaching out to you. What that statement is as a result of marketplace identity. Why did I come here talking about, and I'm going to teach very soon about marketplace identity because many people don't have it. Okay, so it's something many people don't have it, and it limits your possibilities a lot in what you're doing. But how did I come to marketplace identity? I was trying to say that in 2025 and beyond, as a professional and as an entrepreneur, if you don't have the consciousness and the awareness that every post that you make is either clarifying and advancing your marketplace identity or it is confusing it. You see that? And what confuses marketplace identity? It is when either you are inconsistent in what you talk about and people cannot clearly explain where you command expertise and why they should trust you as an expert in that industry, or you show up and let's say you only make when you make a post that makes sense once a month. Right? So you are not consistent in your availability to drive that marketplace identity. Right? So as a professional and as an entrepreneur, it is your responsibility to define your marketplace essence and identity. That is your responsibility. Nobody can do that for you. Nobody can do that for you. Because when you define your essence and your marketplace identity, you begin to enjoy the perception economy. Why? Because in the perception economy, when you drive the right perception about yourself, the work that you do, and your business, you begin to attract the right opportunities in terms of career opportunities, business opportunities, and income opportunities. Right? Because I always say that, look, popularity entertains the masses. Branding educates the ideal buyer or ideal potential client you want to work with. Like I always give a funny, but which is a fact. Research has proven that majority of people that consume comedy content, consume, music, in majority of them on social media, it has been proven that there are people within the lower class and the middle class. Because that's why I said that popularity entertains the masses. But branding and authority educates the right people that can buy your value or hire you. So if you show up on social media and you go towards popularity, yes, you will get the likes and the comments, but you will entertain the masses who cannot pay you. Like for example, if you go on my social media platforms, there are very few of my posts that get 100 likes and above. Very few. But do you think that if social media was not benefiting me, you think I would share that with social media every day? Of course not. Of course not. You see, when you create content that entertain the masses, you can get many likes and comments, but you can never cash out maybe $1,000 or $100 or what have you, depending on your currency. But when you drive in this perspective, you can get 10 likes, but just 10 likes are like maybe two of them are founders, four sub-directors in the company, five, they work in good companies and they attend important staff meetings. You never know when your name will appear in a room. Like, for example, I've had many consulting projects and training projects, and somebody said, oh, we got to you because one of our staff follows you on social media and they recommended you. When I ask the name, most of the time, they don't even like the post, they don't even comment on the post. That's the funny thing. And like I said yesterday, if you are a professional and an expert in your industry, never define your success on social media by how many likes and comments you have. There are better metrics that you can use to consider that. Okay, so posting daily on different social media platforms without a core message and core strategy will literally be a waste of your time. And that's why I'm going to give you 14 ways. Like I said, I spent time, several months, researching and testing. That sometimes, if you follow me, notice that sometimes I'll post different ways, different styles. Sometimes I am posting and observing reaction from the public. Sometimes I'll make a post in a particular way. I look at the reaction, I look at the reach, I look at that, I go to my playbook and I write a strategy that I've learned from that. I've learned from different guys who are doing better and having bigger results. Sometimes I'll send them questions. Oh, I noticed that this your post did this and did that. Tell me, what are you doing right and what can I learn from this? So these 14 things I'll share from you, they are proven practical ways that if you start showing up on social media through what you post in this way as a professional, you will get clients. You may not get viral posts, but you'll get clients. I was talking to somebody, I said, what is the essence of viral posts if you are not getting paid from those posts? If it goes viral and you're getting paid, perfect, excellent, excellent. But if you keep going viral and you are not getting paid as a professional, something is wrong with that virality. Okay? So the goal is that the things I will show us today, if you practice them, they should be able to build you that professional trust. Because if you are consistent on social media, the same as, you know, like there was a time I did a consultation program because one of the things I'm good at is extract, like I can, if I sit down with you, I can be able to come out with value that if you package well and sell, people are going to buy. From businesses to individuals, that is what I really do so well, in that right. So I started with the company and I said, look, they invited me, I had to go through their previous advertisements on TV and things like that. My goal was to understand I'm not I don't design adverts, but I can ensure that if you're putting an advert out, it communicates the real value that will get you paid. So I look at what they were doing. I studied their operations. I said, look, I don't think that you have extracted the right value from this business, and I cannot see you communicating the right value to the public. Why am I saying that? If you post, if your post on social media doesn't build professional trust, you will always be like everyone else. And when you are like everyone else, you never get paid, or you get paid in a scanty way. You get paid like once in 6 months through social media. But that is not supposed to be the case. There is a way that when you consistently show up, your trust can begin to compound. And the more your trust and the perception of the people on these platforms begin to compound towards you, towards your business and what you're selling, the more you're going to get money and influence more people. So I was talking to a lady one time. I said, look, no, you're getting it wrong. Stop arguing that, oh, you see, my post on Facebook only had, you know, uh, um, uh, 100 reach and I only had, 200 impressions on LinkedIn. Yeah, more impressions are good. More reach is good. No problem. But hey, calm down. Calm down. I told her, look, calm down. Your goal is not for you to be viral. Your goal is for you to get the attention from the right people. Make sure that the way you show up, you have the right alignment with those people, and you have the authority through your content to influence them to pay you as an expert. That should be your goal. That should be your goal. That's why you can you can go, and this is a real life story. Like in this consulting and coaching, I hear and see funny things. A lady even said, I have to be honest with you. She said, uh, uh, um, she has no problem me saying about it because I told her, look, I'm gonna use this for example, something. She said, that's fine, right? But she said, look, I got so frustrated that I started dressing in a sexy, hot way in order to get more likes and comments because she thought, and of course, that's what she was seeing. I said, look, you cannot be a corporate professional in finance and showing up on social media like a slave queen who is looking for, hook up or sugar daddy. It's not going to help you. If you show up consistently like that, you will attract the hookups and not the client that you want to attract. It's not going to help you. You see, because her goal was the wrong way. No, your goal is not for you to be viral. Your goal is not for you to get attention with everybody at all costs. No, you're getting it all wrong. Your goal is to get attention from the right potential clients. And sometimes in the industry that you're in and the kind of quality value that you post, you may not get many of them. Like, for example, I know that many people that follow me are build CEOs and they don't comment, but they read. Like I've heard that 1,000 times. Hired to come and speak, hired to consult and do something. And oh, I follow you, but people like us, we don't comment. And I understand. There are many influential people that they follow you if you are consistent in value that they will never like, they will never comment. But they're trusting you every day you show up. The day they need you, they'll pay for you well in a way that 1,000 masses can never pay for you. So your goal is not attention at all cost. No, your goal is attention, getting attention from the right people, and make sure that you align with their problems through the value that you create. And of course, you consistently build authority that can influence them to pay you as an expert you are in your industry. Okay? If you are still following, type following in the chat box and in the comment section. If I've not allowed you somewhere, type following. Go ahead, give me some feedback. Type following. I have to lay this foundation. Are you being challenged? Is your perspective being shifted? Type yes. If your perspective is being shifted, type yes. Type yes. Type yes. All right. Good, good, good. Somebody says my eye is opening. More grace. So my eye is open. For those who are not Africans here, my eye is open means that my understanding is being enlightened. Right? So for those who are not Africans, if you see my eye is open and here on YouTube, on LinkedIn, in English, they're trying to say that my understanding is being enlightened. All right. Awesome. All right. Let's proceed. Then I'll share with you the 14. I hope that I'll be able to cover all the 14 points because I don't want to skip it to the next session. All right. But I had to lay that strong foundation so you get it right. Okay. So, how do you now post on your various social media platforms in a way that can build a strong personal and even business brand that you can monetize? And you can only monetize a brand sustainably. You cannot monetize popularity sustainably because popularity rise and fall. If you don't, you have to keep doing funny things to stay popular, right? The only thing that you can monetize consistently is a good brand. For example, personally for me, I know that every day I always get an inquiry on my either LinkedIn message or Facebook or Twitter X now, or WhatsApp or Instagram, because even if whether I post or I don't post, because that consistency will always be there if the brand is already there and it keeps speaking for itself. You see, so I wrote an article. I'm still going to post that article someday. It's a well documented. It's one of my deep articles that I always post once a week. But I said in that article, just came to mind right now. I said, if your social media presence doesn't translate to economic presence, you're wasting time on social media. Now, this kind of talk is especially for business owners. If your social media presence doesn't translate to economic presence and or monetary, returns, you're wasting time or your strategy has a problem. Same as if you are a university student, if you are a young professional, you're an entry level professional, if you are always constantly on different social media platforms and that social media presence doesn't translate to career opportunities coming your way, you are wasting time and you have a bad strategy. So I have a question for you. You have been showing up on social media for some time, maybe months, maybe years, maybe if you're like me. The first time I created my Facebook page was in 2009, and it's the same Facebook page I've used it today. All right. So maybe some of you are like that, very old on Facebook. If they are paying salary right now, you should be a multi-millionaire right now on Facebook, right? And different platforms. Now, if all of that presence, all of those years, and looking at how integral social media is now in professional advancement and business advancement, and you don't yet, or you are not yet translating that social media presence into economic presence or monetary returns, or translating it into career opportunities, there is something you are not doing right. You have something that you have to do right, that your destiny literally depends on it, but you are not doing it. Like I always say, if you bring Adam Smith, who wrote the book Wealth of Nations, if you did economics in secondary school, especially in Africa, we read that book like I think it's from 3, from 4, something like that in the Cameroon education system. And one of the topics, I think second, third chapter, I've forgotten, but he was talking about the factors of production. He spoke about the entrepreneur, the land, the labor, capital. Am I missing something else? Is there infrastructure? But I always say that if you bring Adam Smith in 2025, if he wants to rewrite that book, he will add social media as a major factor of production in 2025 and beyond. Right? So, social media, the way infrastructure is important to you, the way capital is important to you in whatever you're doing, is the same way that in 2025, social media is important to you. You see that? So, one thing that I will hope that we can achieve from here is that after this day 4 of this morning school, many of us should be able to start intentionally translating what you do or your social media presence into economic presence or monetary returns or career opportunities. That should be happening to you. That should be happening to you. One of the beliefs I have is that don't don't write off if you are here right now and let's say you're unemployed or you're going through a challenging season or you're going through some difficulties. Look, if you can, if you know, like, don't write off yourself. Like I know what, like you know what it means to. I remember a time I got a mind-blowing opportunity one time. I was hired by a government, paid so well, lodged in a hotel for some few weeks. Like That week I was struggling financially and I needed money. You know what it means to go to bed and then wake up to an opportunity that literally changes your life and your finances just because somebody saw you on social media and recommended you. Like now, I wanted to before sharing this short story, what I wanted to say was that never write off yourself or someone who knows how to show up the right way on social media. Don't write off that person because one DM, one message can change your destiny forever. And that's one thing I love about social media is that it has democratized opportunities. Like 50 years ago or decades ago, there are some things that, there are some things that they have given me as opportunities that if it was decades ago, I would not get it because I would not have a godfather, a godmother, or somebody who knows me, an influential person in that room to recommend me. I would not know, I would never know somebody in that kind of position. Never, ever. But you see, the beauty of social media is that it has democratized opportunities that can change your destiny forever. But if you are not stepping up to it, it is not going to help you in any way. So there are many opportunities out there, literally maybe with your name on it, but the point is they cannot find you because you are not aligned and you are not positioned. Because one thing that social media will do for you is that it will help you to fall into alignment and into positioning with these democratized opportunities. Like 10 years ago, or not 10 years, yes, 50 years, 20 years ago, how many people could sit and a CEO of a top company writes them? Very few, very rare. But today, sometimes a CEO can even write you and you think it's a scammer. You are like, please, can we do video call? Let me be sure that I'm talking to a real person. Right? Because it has democratized influence, access, opportunities, and so much more. But unfortunately, some people are not still able to tap into this. All right. So, how do you show up on social media through your post? That's what I'm focusing on. So, I'm not teaching you how to write the right post. No, I'm assuming that you can write a good post. Now, how do you show up with it the right way? Okay. If you want content creation stuff, you can find somebody in that area to teach you that, right? I'm not a good content creation trainer. I do content creation for myself. All right. So, but I may share a few tips in that light, but I want to focus on how to show up. Okay. So, number one, let's start from the basics and grow up consistently. Number one, stop posting for likes and start posting for positioning. Stop posting for likes and start posting for positioning. If you are a professional, you're a business owner, likes don't get you paid. If you create funny posts, memes, comedy, post funny things, just because you get your ego or your ego is being fed when you say that, oh, I had 50 likes, I had 200 comments, and I had 10,000 reach or 50,000 impressions on my post. Okay, you have all of that. How much did it bring in for you? How much attention did you get from the right people? Because you can post funny things that will go viral, but the people that can pay you for your value, either they will see it and sigh and say, look, who is this? Who is this clown? Right? So don't post for likes. Start posting for alignment and positioning. Like if you're making a post, how does this post help me to position myself as the expert that I am in this industry? Okay. Okay. Somebody's asking a question that I handled yesterday. That what about monetizing to be paid by Facebook? I always say that that is how they put this. It's like a Ponzi scheme. Hmm? Monetization on social media is if you live your life that and don't get confused by the few 1% or 2% that get monetized on Facebook, on social media platforms, and you start dreaming that someday, you can get there someday if you do that. But let me tell you something. I asked a funny question the other day. I said, if you run Facebook and you have 2 billion users, will you take all your money and pay, let's say 500 million people for being on your platform? Now go and check what I'm saying. How much does Mark Zuckerberg pay for 1 million views? Have you guys ever checked that? Go and check. How much do they pay you for even 1,000 views? Go and check. If you understand the economics of this, you will never bank yourself on getting money on like I'm gonna make money on social media primarily if Facebook pays me or X pays me or Instagram pays me. You will never bank on that. It's like I always say, should I say this? Many people don't know that there are strategies that corporate organizations create to keep the masses, force them to consume what they're pushing out there. For example, monetization is a game. It's not a, how do I put this? It's not a goal. It's a game. It's a game like, okay, they'll sit in their strategy room and they'll be like, what can we do to keep the masses, to keep people who don't think, to keep average individuals on Facebook for so long? What can we do? Oh, let us promise them that we're going to pay them when they show up consistently on our platforms. Okay. Hmm. So we are going to give them a very small amount since because of greed and desire to make money at all costs with poor strategies, because rich people know that middle class and lower class people, they have poor financial intelligence. So, right? So they know. I'm trying to tell you what happens in boardrooms because I get to sit in boardrooms. Because how do these platforms make money? From advertisers. So let us create programs that will force them to stay on our online platforms and waste their time scrolling and being there. The more we can measure how much they spend on our platforms, the more we can take that data to our advertisers and ask them to pay us more to advertise on our platform, because we can guarantee them that we have more people who spend their life on social media platforms. Please, if you are here and you have a dream, you want to bank your life, and someday let me be so good on social media that Facebook can pay me, please let that happen as a byproduct. And many people are being deceived by fake receipts that many influencers post. You can edit good receipts on different softwares and post, and they know that posts like that will get them what? More views and more comments. And it's also part of that poverty mentality that they think that, oh, let me do my best to get more views than that. If you want to see what I'm telling you, many people want to get paid on social media. They have never researched, oh, how much does Facebook pay for 1,000 views, 10,000 views, or 1 million views? They have never done that research. The day you find out the numbers, you can even get angry at these people and never focus on doing it anymore. Not to talk of Africa, right? For those who are in Africa, they pay less than Asian countries, they pay less than those who are in Europe and all of that. Okay. So you need to, we talked yesterday, find different ways to monetize your attention. There are more powerful ways to do that can keep you sustainable. And of course, if you want to monetize your time on social media by depending on the platform paying you, is also a bad strategy, because You will now live your life at the mercy of algorithms. The day Facebook, and people don't, and not just Facebook, other platforms, LinkedIn, X, and even TikTok, the month that they notice insider information, the month they notice that many people are getting many views, they go and do a setting behind their back end and reduce how much your posts get views. So they reduce, you know what I'm saying? They reduce exposure so they can pay you less. Okay, let me not go deeper than that, but know that. Okay, so point one on how to post on social media in a way that will help you to build a brand that you can monetize and, of course, do it the right way. All right. Number one is, as I said, stop posting for likes and start posting for positioning. Okay. You are not here to entertain, except you are in the entertainment industry. But if you're a professional in other industries, you are not showing up on social media to entertain. No, you are showing up on social media to align, to position, to build authority, and to influence so you can get paid. So when you're putting a post on social media, you should be signaling authority and expertise, or building authority, perception, building trust, and attracting aligned buyers or platforms to you. You see, so when you are posting, you should be posting for positioning. And then I always say that there are ways that if you really want to post for positioning and alignment and authority, that somebody can pay you, an organization can pay you, or they can see you as a professional and hire you and pay you the way you deserve as an employee. When you're posting for positioning, you're supposed to be able to address some topics like, let's say, you are, I want to give an example of somebody I know who he's our business here. Let's take Mespa, for example. She is into fitness and nutrition and things like that. And she could be like, here is the problem I solved using this and this. Now, that's the post that is demonstrating expertise and authority. Or when she's doing a post, the post can talk around things like, here is what I have helped others to achieve as a nutrition expert or a wellness expert. Oh, here's what I have helped 3 women to achieve after giving birth. You see what I'm saying? Here is how to work with me. Or if you are struggling with this and this, here is how I can solve that problem for you. Here is how this and that works. Or you're in an industry, let's say you're in communication. Here are the top 3 mistakes that small business owners often make when it comes to communicating communicating with their clients. And here is what to do instead. I'm trying to give you examples of posts that you can make that will begin to align you as the expert you should be in the eyes of the people that you are communicating to, because that is what is going to make them to pay you. Okay? Because this kind of content doesn't just inform. No, it positions you as a trusted authority in your field. Let me tell you, when your content start putting you or showing you as a trusted expert or authority in your field, you will always get paid effortlessly. Many people are struggling to cash out on through social media because they are not doing this the right way. So you have to avoid just showing up. No, you have to make up your mind. How do I show up with, professional purpose and not just generic content like everybody else? No, that is not you. Because the more you are generic in your content and how you show up, the less opportunities, the less income you attract to yourself. You see, like I was talking to a client the other day, I said, look, we need to build a strategy for you that your voice should outlive virality. Because if you have noticed, things that makes people go viral, they don't last more than 5 days. You only get short-term validation and then you are gone. But if you consistently show up in a way that you are consistently aligning and positioning, you can always get paid by people that make sense. I know somebody watched a video of her on YouTube and hired her for a $10,000 opportunity. And that's even an old video. And a video that had just about 50 views. You see, but if you go to a comedian's page, or you go to somebody who posts just funny things like that, lifestyle things and all of that, they will have so many views, right? And what do they do? They depend on getting paid from platforms. That is not a problem. But you see, I have a few people that used to focus on that and then they stopped. They said the energy and the hard work that I consistently put in trying to get this platform to pay me, if I did something different, I'll make more money and create more impact than trying to do this. So I always advise people, yes, do platforms pay? Yes. But that should not be your primary reason of showing up on social media, except you're in entertainment. Because the humans are designed to love comfort and entertainment. That's why you will notice that most comedians, musicians, footballers, people like that, they have more followers than experts, authority leaders across industries like technology, healthcare, agriculture, business, what have you. Because the human nature is designed to love comfort, laziness, and entertainment. So by default, they're going to have that. You see? So, but that is not for you if you play a different game in a different industry. Okay? So, stop posting for likes, short term engagement, and things like that. Post for positioning. Like, let somebody read your post 3 months after and still decide to pay you. You see? Number two, build a branded content ecosystem. I'll explain. Build a branded content ecosystem. It relates to point one, but it's a bit different. Now, I always advise people that if you are going to get clients to pay you, institutions to pay you, CEOs to reach out to you and hire you for their company, for their staff, whatever that you do, you should pick 3 to 4 content lanes that you can tie to your brand and build the right identity around it and begin to monetize it. Okay, so examples of content lanes that you can develop or build a content ecosystem around could be, your skill set, the results that you have created of previous clients, your thought process or frameworks of how you do things, or personal stories of your journey and how you create value for other clients, or career or industry stories that reveals impact. So you can decide, for example, that every post that you are making, the goal is that the post should begin to answer the question, why should I pay this person? Like if somebody reads your post and they have this question in their mind, why should I pay this person? Let the post that you are making answer that question. That's the meaning of build a content ecosystem, right? So pick 3 to 4 content lanes that you can focus on to create posts around. For example, you can create posts around your skill set. That's the first thing. That is part of the content ecosystem that you are building. You can create, posts around your skill set. Number two, you can create posts around results and client wins, right? Number three, you can create posts around your thought process or your frameworks or a step-by-step process that you go through to solve some problems for clients. But under this point three, don't share all your trade secrets, right? Know what to put in public and what to hide, and create curiosity for people to reach out to you. Okay. Number five, and another point is you can post personal stories that reveal, why you do what you do and why you serve this type of clients. And some people who do this so well, there's a lady that she's a good friend. What she has done under this is that she has 5 content lanes, and each content lane has a day. Like let's say on Mondays, she make a post around her skill set. On Tuesdays, she will get a screenshot of a client success story and write a beautiful story about that success story. On Wednesday, she can post a strategy post where she's talking about a step-by-step process, right? Those are content links that you're working with. On Thursday, she can write a personal story talking about why she's doing what she's doing and why she's serving the type of client that she's serving. On Friday, she can make a post about industry news or industry stories. Oh, I attended this event. Oh, I heard that Bill Gates said this. Oh, I was watching the news on CNN and I saw this, I saw that. She now picks that and create content around it and she posts it. You see, those are content lanes, and that is her branded content ecosystem. And when you post like this, when somebody reads your post, they can easily answer the question, this is the reason I should pay this person. Because there is some professionalism, there is some consistency, and they can see different styles, and they can see a knowledgeable, practical person with results. Okay? So, like I always say, if you are using social media consistently, always see every post like part of your premium product, right? Like, let every post be like a touch point. Like in marketing, they talk about touch points. Like, for example, when you go to an event, sometimes they'll give you branded pens and branded coffee cups and things like that. Those are touch points for that company, right? So if you start seeing your post as, touch points that can push people to come to you and consume your premium product, it will change how you make your post and how you show up through your post. And when you begin to do that, you'll begin to post in a way that builds a strong personal brand that you can eventually begin to monetize. Okay. Number three, how can you show up through your post and be able to build a strong brand and eventually begin to monetize it by selling your value through that brand? I spoke about it yesterday, so I will not spend a lot of time on this. Is, of course, if you're making good posts with a poor bio, with a poor social media profile, it's not going to help you. Okay. So make sure that you have crafted a bio that can open doors for you. You have designed, you have a good, profile picture, cover page that can open doors for you. Because, like I always say, when I look at some people's social media bio on social media, sometimes I'm like, why are you wasting online real estate? Right? And I always tell people, look, if your bio doesn't communicate, if somebody looks at your profile picture, your cover page, your short bio, and on LinkedIn, your long about you, and if they read those things or they come across that, touch points of yours, and they cannot understand who you help and what you will help them to achieve if they work with you, or the kind of problem that you solve as a professional. And if they cannot understand how they can start working with you, something is wrong with your profile and your bio. Okay? Because clarity is important. Like I said yesterday, people don't buy mystery, they buy mastery that they can understand. Stop being mysterious to people. People buy the mastery that they can understand. People buy the solutions that are well, communicated and they can understand. Okay, I will not spend more time on that because I handled that yesterday. Number 4, intentionally create posts that bridges, right? Like a bridge that moves you to go to the other side. You want to cross from, Bonnaberry to town in Douala. You want to cross. Every major city has a big bridge that you can cross to go to a bigger city or a smaller area, what have you, right? So see your post from today like a bridge. This particular concept helps me a lot. So anytime I'm making a post, when I read that post, I always have to ask myself, is this post communicating like a bridge between where these people are and where I am with my value and solution, right? So to explain it better, every post of yours as a business person on social media, as a professional on social media, every post of yours should do one or all of the following at different times if you can. Number 1 is the post should be able to educate, right? The post should be able to educate. That's a bridge, and that's everybody knows that. Any post that can educate the people reading, it could be education about themselves, the industry, their problem and their solution, but make sure that if you're making posts, if you want to ever, turn your brand or your social media platform to be a brand that you can begin to monetize, make sure that some of your posts can educate because it creates that bridge. Number 2, your post should solve a problem. You can identify general problems that people that you're targeting face and then create your post around them, around those problems to solve that problem. That's a bridge, right? So they can read that post and cross on the other side, all right? Another way that your post can act as a bridge is invite them to take action. So when you write your post, you can invite them to take an action. You can give them that, okay, based on what I've said, I want to challenge you. Do 1, 2, 3 in the next 4 days and see the impact in your life. You may not ask them to give you feedback, but when somebody reads a post like that, trust me, you have no idea how many people go and try it. And when it works, it creates a perception about you in their mind. And the day they're willing to pay, they'll think about you first. Okay, so invite them to take action. And also, this action can also be a call to action, like can invite them, okay, if this post made some sense to you, can you comment awesome or give them a word to comment? Let them engage with the post so that you can also use it as data. All right. Another way that you can, use your post to build bridges is build trust through the stories that you tell. It can be a story of your own personal life, how you achieve something, where you were 10 years ago, where you are today. It can be a post about how you helped a client. It can be a post about you went for an event 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Like some of you, we did a challenge yesterday. Many of you did not do the challenge, but many of you made a post sharing that you attended a 4 a.m. class and you learned this and this helped you a lot and all of that. And some of you got good engagements with that. Is that true? If you did that post, type yes in the chat box. Type yes if you did that post. I saw some of the posts, I shared some, and so on, right? But that's a bridge. That's you building trust by sharing a story or by sharing what you were a part of as a person. You see, you have no idea, but that post at some point created some right perception about you in the eyes of the people that read it. Okay. Another way that you can also create a post is make your offer, create your post in a way that it becomes a bridge is make your offer visible. Okay, sometimes you can just create a good flyer, write a good story, share the offer, and you're good to go. Okay, but in all, what am I trying to say? Let your post be a bridge. Okay, create your post in a way that they can bridge you and the customers or the people that are reading. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is don't just talk, don't just write anything. No, when you're about to write a post or you're done writing and you're about to share it, read again and ask, is this post leading people somewhere? And where is that somewhere? Am I leading them through education? Am I leading them to get a solution to their problem? Am I challenging them to act based on the action steps I'm going to tell them to take? Am I building trust in their minds about my product and my business? You see what I'm saying? This is how you can build a strong brand and monetize it. Because, like I always say, if you are showing up on social media as a professional, as a business owner, if your post doesn't make the people who follow you to either think or to act or to buy, you are basically doing, online noise. Because if anytime you show up on social media and what you communicate is not causing the people reading it or listening to think, to act, or to buy from you, it is online noise, right? It is not strategy. And like I said yesterday, if you are a professional in an industry, please, social media is not your diary. It's not a place where you dump photos because you are like, someday I will come check for it. That is ignorance. Go create a Google Drive and put those things there, right? And as we said yesterday, your social media profile is a storefront. It's your new resume for many organizations. So they come there and they see it as a dumping ground for certain funny pictures that doesn't communicate you as a professional. Something is wrong with you. You see? So social media is not your personal diary. It is your dominion ground when it comes to career advancement and business development. Okay? So create posts that act as bridges. The more your post can bridge anything in the lives of the people going through that post, it could be a text, a video, a live session like this, whatever, but let it be a bridge. Okay? Number five. This number five works for people that are already, providing some services. If you already have a business, you're serving clients already. Number five, I have seen it over and over worked in such a powerful way. Use testimonials and results like marketing assets. Many people don't still know how to do this. Okay, but learning how to use testimonials and results that you create for your clients, like marketing assets, will always increase your brand on social media. It could be just a screenshot of a customer appreciating the impact that your value or your product created for them. When you post it, those who are reading it are like, oh, she or he is actually creating transformation for people. It sticks in their mind. Perception is building. Okay? You can share before and after snapshots if you are in that type of business. It builds a strong brand. You can write good stories about client transformational journeys that they have experienced with you. You can highlight how your method worked for a client. This is where I meet this client. After using my product or my service, this is where they are today. You see, because there is power in social proof. The more social proof that you can communicate, do that. In short, I always advise people that if you're already serving clients, always ensure that you take this feedback, And please pick a day every week and dedicate that day to social proof content creation. Okay? It will help your business a lot, especially for business owners. Pick a day. Pick a day every week. Dedicate that day to social proof content. You will be amazed at how much it will enhance your brand. And that day, you can create 3 contents around social proof. Post one in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. It could be screenshots, it could be before and after, transformational story, whatever, and post it. You'll be amazed at the impact that it will create as far as your brand is concerned if you consistently show up with it. Okay? Number 6, I also used this yesterday, but I spoke about pinned post or featured post. LinkedIn has the featured section. Facebook do have where you can pin your main post if you want to. But like I always say, your pinned post or featured post can act like a 24/7 sales representative. Why? Because you never know who will stumble on your profile. For example, there's a way that you can, like LinkedIn and even Facebook, that there's a way you can search on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn can show you professionals and experts in a particular field, in a particular location or city, or even neighborhood or state or region, depending on where you are, right? And when people put the right key, they put the keywords and they put the region, your name can show up. Okay, your name can show up. And if your name show up, apart from them coming across your profile picture, your cover, and your bio, if you have the right pinned or featured post, it will help convert them easily or establish a conversation that can lead to sales. And I always say that a pinned post on Facebook or featured post on LinkedIn or whatever platform you're using, it should always describe basic things like who you are, what you do, who you do it for, and how to get started with you. These 4 things: who you are, what you do, who you do it for, and maybe the problems you solve, and how to get started with you. In other words, add your contact. Okay? So if you don't have it, go spend some time and develop that pinned post. Number 7, very important point. I've done this a few times and it always worked like magic. Turn your best performing post into repeatable series. Turn or convert your best performing post into a repeatable series. For example, there are times that I have posted a short quote of maybe just 15 words, 10 words, and the way people react on that quote, I say, oh, they like this. I will take it and expand it to a long content, or sometimes even do a video about it. That is converting best performing post into repeatable series. So in other words, if a post works, if you make a short post, for example, or even like sometimes I've done a short video just on my selfie video and I post it, and sometimes the reaction is good. I'm like, okay, they like this. I will do sometimes I even organize a masterclass around it and teach it. That is converting a best performing post into either a series or a long form content, right? A series means that you can expand it to create a part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, and take people on a journey for a few days. And I love series posts because it builds trust, it builds confidence, it makes serious people to trust you more. Okay, so you can turn if you can turn it into a mini series, a full series. If you're good at it, you can even create a workshop around it. I've done it a few times where I made a short post, people liked it, they asked more questions like, oh, you know what? create a workshop around it, create a training around it. Okay? Or you can even build a paid product from it if you're good at that. What am I trying to say? Learn how to scale what works at a small level. It's a powerful strategy. Okay? Don't let it die. Don't just be excited. Oh, I made a short quote and it had, 100 likes and 200 comments. And then what? How can you capitalize on people liking or being excited or loving that type of content? How can you scale it? If you're in business and you don't have the mindset and the consciousness of scaling what works in a little scale, then you always miss out on bigger opportunities. Okay, so learn to convert best performing posts into either longer content, into workshops, into 4 days, 5 days series, into a paid product, but make sure that you scale what works for you. Okay. Number eight. Repurpose across platforms with intentionality. Now, this works for people that you have accounts across more than one platform. Let's say you have a LinkedIn account, Facebook account, Instagram, maybe TikTok, and of course, maybe X, depending on where you are. If you have just two or one, most people still have just one, but I always advise if you're a professional and a business person, if you can be able to manage three platforms effectively, it's good. Have a main platform, but have two supporting platforms that you're also doing well on those platforms. It's very good. Okay. And it also depends on your geography. Like if you are, from this personal observation, okay, somebody likes to just study data and observe what I see. Like if you're Cameroonians, if you are able to merge LinkedIn and Facebook, you will do well. And then you can add maybe TikTok to it. Nigerians, very good with in Nigeria. If you're able to be good with Instagram and LinkedIn, professionals especially, and of course TikTok, you're going to get a lot of exposure in that, right? And the United States, kind of in between people, right? If you can be good with LinkedIn and Instagram, it's going to help you. A good number of people too are also on Facebook, but just depending on your industry and what you do. But again, make sure that you identify the key platforms that they can work for you and you can be consistent on them. But I want to talk about repurposing your content across different platforms that you are in intentionally. In other words, I'm talking about one message, multiple formats. Okay. For example, you can do a Facebook post, but on LinkedIn, you can convert that post into a carousel or into a thread, right? You can do a WhatsApp voice note and push into your group or on your status, but then you can retype that WhatsApp voice note and convert it into an Instagram carousel, depending on how the people that follow your Instagram, how they are going to take it. Okay. You can do a live session and I do this a lot, a live session like this on YouTube, and then you can cut it short into shorter clips and then you post it as reels on YouTube Shorts, reels on Instagram and Facebook and even LinkedIn and so on. Because the power of this is that brand consistency creates more recognition for you. Okay, so, and when you have the right recognition, it builds trust. And the more trust you can drive to yourself and to your business, the more opportunities and the more income you are getting. Okay, so learning how to repurpose content. Some people just post the same thing on Facebook, the same thing on LinkedIn, and so on. And sometimes it doesn't work, but sometimes you just change a few things. But sometimes, right now, what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to find a better way that I can post the same thing on LinkedIn and on Facebook, right? So that I reduce all the work and all of that. But those who have social media teams that they are paying, it's easier for them to actually do that. Okay, but if you can repurpose a bit, it will help you to build that brand consistency, then attract that recognition to yourself. And when you have that recognition, you can build trust and then begin to monetize that trust as a business person. Because if you study platforms, you'll notice that every platform definitely has a posture that you must show in, right? You have to learn that posture and speak it. There is a LinkedIn language, there is a Facebook language, there is a TikTok language, there is an Instagram language. Right? Like I always fondly say, the language of LinkedIn is authority. That's why some people say that if you're not careful on LinkedIn, the way people talk, it would demoralize you because everybody sounds big on LinkedIn, right? So the language of LinkedIn is authority. LinkedIn honors authority. The language of TikTok is velocity. More content fast. Content fast, right? Velocity. The language of Instagram is aesthetics. That's why many ladies love Instagram. It's a picture platform, right? The language of Instagram is aesthetics, beautiful pictures. You would do well on Instagram, right? The language on Facebook is relatability because I call it the big compound of familiarity, right? Facebook is mostly your first set of friends are your childhood friends, schoolmates, church members, right? Local community members, and so on. So the language of Facebook is relatability. So if you master how to speak the language of different platforms and align your value and your blueprint into those platforms, it is going to help you a lot. Okay. But if you don't have the time to be trying to create diverse content for these platforms, you can what I do for me is that for what works for me is that I have been able to create almost the same language that I can show up with the same content on the same platforms, but sometimes I can change the pictures or the images, and sometimes I can change the intro and maybe the outro and few things here and there, and then that is it. And sometimes the content will do very well on different platforms that I have shared. But again, what am I trying to say on that point eight? Train yourself to repurpose your content across platforms with intentionality and learn the platform posture of the platform that you're using. As I said, LinkedIn, if you don't know how to talk as an authority, as somebody with influence or an expert, you will struggle on LinkedIn, right? TikTok, you're going to be there. Fast videos, consistency and frequency works on TikToks, right? Instagram, nice pictures, flashy pictures, classy, premium pictures, good aesthetics, you will do well. Facebook, make sure that your language is relatable, people can relate with it and things like that. I think you will definitely do well, okay? And then number nine is if you will post on social media in a way that your post can take your brand to the next level and you can monetize that brand is learn how to intentionally, I spoke about this a bit, learn how to intentionally include call to actions on your content and call to actions that can lead to real conversations. Okay, like if you read some of my posts, you'll see that anytime I end a post, I will say things like comment this word if this impacted you a bit, right? And sometimes when they comment like that, I'll go under those comments and reply those comments, right? And challenge them and challenge the people to tell me more, okay, what impacted you? What are you going to apply as a result of what you learn? And the more that conversation is happening, the more it is challenging you and of course helping you to serve people better. Okay. So when you create a post, ensure that when you end the post, always include calls to action that can lead to real conversations. Because the more you have conversations with the people that are reading from you, the more you can convert them to paying customers. Okay. And sometimes you can add, like, oh, if you want this product for free, can you DM me the word ready, right? Or you can add a link like click the link in my bio to book a free session with me, or click a link in my bio to download a free guide. And you can put, if you don't have a Google, an online store where somebody can download automatically, you can use a Google Drive or whatever, but just create something that people can get from you, right? Because the power of this is that if people don't take the next step after consuming your content, you will always lose them and you will not be able to build a strong brand around those people. So if people cannot take the next step, you are not building a brand. You are just journaling and kind of making social media noise. Okay, so the power of adding call to actions is that it leads to proper conversations, it leads to proper conversions, and when this begins to happen, the more you drive that conversation, the more you build the right brand around them. Okay, so number 10, and then we are done. I have 14 points, but I cannot share all the 14 today. We are getting beyond, we have gone beyond time. Number 10, track what converts. If you are consistent on social media, please learn to track the type of post that converts more clients to you. Okay, it's very powerful because learn to scale what works for you. So track what converts and build a system around it. Okay, like for example, for those of you that consistently shop on social media in, I don't know, last few months, last few years, if I ask you right now, from your observation, what kind of post attract clients to you consistently? Do you know the type of post? What language gets people talking about you and your product when you post? What structure do you use that anytime you use that structure, people understand your offer or what you're selling as value very clear? So use these three questions to track what converts in your previous post. What kind of post attract clients consistently to you? Scale more of those posts. Number two, what language gets people to contact you privately or to ask more questions about your post? There is a language. Personally, for me, I know the kind of language that if I want to get people talking about a particular service, I will create my post and the language around that language. And I always get DMs and comments asking more questions. What structure in your post made your offer so clear? There is a way that you can create a post. There's a structure. A structure can be like start with a problem statement, explain the problem, briefly talk about the solution, and add a call to action. That is a structure. And if you have noticed that, like I have like 4 different structures I use in creating posts, and I know certain structures that the more I use that structure, it makes my offer so clear, and it always causes people to reach out either to book a coaching session or hire to speak in an upcoming event or training program for their team or whatever. The goal is how can you turn the insights that you consistently share into what is working for you consistently. Okay, so build a brand that is working and it will always help you greatly. If you practice, I've given you 10 different ideas, 10 different ideas that if you are serious about your social media game, okay, you're serious about converting your social media profile and what to do of social media into a strong brand that you can consistently, even daily monetize. If you do these things, you will see the result. Okay, it's recorded, it's available. This is not a program that you listen once and then you get it. Go back again, go through again, and make sure that you listen. And trust me, you will pick a few key points that can definitely help you. All right, that is it for today. And this is day 4 of our 4 days of morning school, waking up at 4 a.m. GMT plus one, and late night for those in North America, and having amazing times and training with different people. We are beyond time, so I will take one interesting question. If you have a question, comment in the chat box or in the comment section, and I will respond to that question. All right, before the questions are coming, if your mind was shifted or you learned something profound, type the word shifted in the chat box. Type the word shifted in the chat box. All right, happy to see what is shifted here online and on Zoom and so on. All right, any question, you can raise up your hand if you have a question, and we are good to go. All right. Is there any question? Raise up your hand. Yes, Mispa, go ahead.
Good morning, good morning, everyone, or whatever time it is. I'm so grateful for the class. Quickly, my question sounds simple, but I just want to understand. For instance, when you post, you write a post on Facebook, for example, using multiple pictures, is it professional, or we have to use just one? Is there any standard of the number of pictures to attach for videos?
Okay, yes. What I always recommend is that if your pictures, if your pictures are communicating a story, you can use the multiple pictures, okay? If not, get one good picture that can create attention and use one picture. Picture dumping does not, it does not create attention the right way, except it's a picture that is a couple of pictures that from your content, you are writing a story that people will need to check the pictures to relate with the story. But if not, if you can just have one good picture that is quality, is good, and can drive attention, fine, then you can use it. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Somebody is asking for last month 4 a.m. series. I just shared that today in the group. I shared the link to last month's series in the group. Let me check. I shared that yesterday in the group. Please go back and you will see. Except you join the group after I shared. Okay. Let me just reshare. Here is what I shared. So if you are here and you're in the WhatsApp group and you missed last month's morning school, for 4 days we handled value creation and so on. Okay. So it is important that you go through. That's going to help you. All right. Okay. So, Virginia, do you mean that you make $2,000 from one Facebook post that didn't go viral, that like you were paid by Facebook, the platform, or you made a sale? Let me understand. Okay, you made a sale. All right, that's good. Wow. So now imagine what you can do if you practice all of these things. There's no reason why you should not make $10,000 a month and above. Because you see, like I always tell people, if you can, there are some things that if you can prove one sale, there are 1,000 people out there that can buy more than that one sale. If you just capitalize on it and upgrade it, you will definitely sell more. All right. So practice this more And very soon you will tell us that you made a $10,000 sales. All right. All right, people. That is it for this month's morning school, 4 days. And we shared a few things that will help us stay active in the group, as we will keep having sometimes impromptu sessions just to focus on a few things. To round up, as we keep saying, if you are a man in this group or in this live session right now, and you have not made up your mind to be part of the Gentlemen Summit, Gentlemen of Impact, Influence, and Income, make sure you sign up, okay? If you are not in the Gentlemen group yet, please send me a DM and I will happily send you the link and you join, okay? We'll be talking about things that will shift your life forever, okay? Things that will, if you have a man in your life, a husband, boyfriend, a brother, a son, get him on this program. It's free, okay? Get him on this program, because like some people attended the teaching I did on Thursday yesterday. On Thursday, I was teaching on the 8 ways that you can become a powerful person in your nation. And that's just a tip of the iceberg of what I've been teaching the men. I want to, because every man, one thing that God gave every man is that ego, that boldness, and that courage. But there's a way to tap into it and become a man of influence, impact, and a powerful man in your generation. If you do it the right way, you cannot end up an average person. Okay? So get every man. Ladies are invited. We'll stream it on YouTube anyway. So, but they will be speaking on that conference. I'm speaking, my mind will be only to the men. So I was speaking to the audience like a one-man audience, which is the men that I'm addressing. So for ladies, you will need to be contextualizing to fit into your life. But I'll be speaking as if the only people in the room are men. Okay? So you're welcome to be part of it. Do share and invite somebody to be part of it. All right, people. See you all